Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jean Mortensen in 1926, was one of the most iconic figures of 20th century American pop culture. Known for her beauty and charisma, she became a symbol of attraction in the 1950s and early 1960s. Monroe starred in numerous successful films, where she would often showcase her comedic timing and screen presence. Beyond her on-screen allure, she was also a complex figure, struggling with personal issues, professional pressures, and the public often reducing her to a stereotype. On August 5, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Brentwood, Los Angeles home at the age of 36. Monroe's personal life had become increasingly troubled. She had recently been fired from a film she was working on, was rumored to be involved with both President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert, and was reportedly suffering from depression and insomnia. Friends and house staff later recalled that she had appeared unstable, isolated, and heavily medicated in her final days. The circumstances of Monroe's death have long been the subject of speculation, conspiracy theories, and public fascination, ranging from accidental overdose to political cover-up. Her passing sparked conversations about mental health, the pressures of fame, and how the entertainment industry treats its stars, leaving a legacy that continues to resonate decades later. Bob Marley, born Robert Nesta Marley in 1945, was a Jamaican singer, songwriter, and cultural icon whose music brought reggae to a global audience, with him becoming a symbol of peace, resistance, and unity through his songs. As the frontman of Bob Marley and the Wailers, he blended reggae, ska, and rocksteady with powerful lyrics addressing social justice, spirituality, and Rastafarian beliefs. Marley was not only beloved for his music, but also for his role as a voice for the oppressed, especially in Jamaica, where he worked to promote political peace during times of violence and division. Marley's health began to decline in 1977 when he was diagnosed with a malignant melanoma under the nail of his toe. Despite doctors recommending amputation, Marley refused, citing his Rastafarian beliefs. The cancer eventually spread throughout his body, and he continued to tour and record even as his condition worsened. By 1980, during the Uprising tour, his illness became more apparent. After collapsing while jogging in New York's Central Park, doctors discovered the cancer had spread to his brain, lungs, and liver. On May 11, 1981, Bob Marley died in Miami, Florida at the age of 36. He had been traveling from Germany, where he had undergone alternative treatment, to Jamaica but never completed his journey. His final words to his son, Ziggy, reportedly were, "Money can't buy life." Marley's death was met with international mourning. He was given a state funeral in Jamaica, attended by thousands. His passing was a monumental loss for music and for the global movement toward peace and cultural unity. Marley remains a symbol of resistance and love, with his influence continuing to inspire artists and activists around the world. Eazy-E, born Eric Lynn Wright in 1964, was a groundbreaking rapper, producer, and entrepreneur, widely regarded as one of the founding fathers of gangsta rap. Rising to fame in the late 1980s as a member of NWA, Eazy-E helped bring the harsh realities of inner-city life to mainstream audiences through raw, unapologetic lyrics. He became a central figure in hip-hop's evolution, and a powerful voice for marginalized communities. Through his label, Ruthless Records, he also launched the careers of many artists, further shaping the sound of West Coast rap. In early 1995, Eazy-E was hospitalized in Los Angeles with what he believed was a case of asthma. Instead, he was diagnosed with advanced AIDS-related pneumonia. The diagnosis came as a shock to both Eazy-E and the public, as there had been no prior indication of serious illness. Within weeks, his health declined rapidly. On March 16, 1995, he issued a public statement confirming his condition and used the moment to promote awareness about AIDS, specifically within the African American and hip-hop communities, which had largely avoided the topics. Eazy-E died on March 26, 1995, at the age of 30, just over a month after entering the hospital. His death sent shockwaves throughout the music world, and at a time when discussions about HIV and AIDS were still heavily stigmatized, especially among black men and within hip-hop culture, Eazy-E's passing forced the industry and fans to confront the reality of the disease. It also marked the end of an era in rap history. Despite controversies during his life, Eazy-E is remembered as a pioneer who helped redefine music and spoke truth to power, leaving a legacy that continues to influence artists today. Kurt Cobain, born in 1967 in Aberdeen, Washington, was the lead singer, guitarist, and songwriter of the influential grunge band Nirvana. He rose to fame in the early 1990s and became a voice for Generation X, known for his raw lyrics, distinct sound, and anti-establishment attitude. He was beloved for his authenticity and vulnerability, as well as his ability to channel pain and disillusionment into powerful music. Cobain's impact on alternative rock was profound, helping to bring grunge music into the mainstream and shaping the sound and spirit of the decade. His personal life, including his marriage to musician Courtney Love, was often under media scrutiny. On April 8, 1994, Cobain was found dead in his Seattle home. A note was discovered nearby, expressing his emotional exhaustion and his struggles with fame. It is believed he died on April 5th. His death shocked fans worldwide and marked a tragic end to a brilliant but troubled life. Cobain was only 27, joining the so-called 27 Club of artists who died young. His passing sparked widespread conversations about mental health, addiction, and the pressures of fame. Kurt Cobain's music and message continue to resonate, and his influence remains deeply intertwined in the legacy of rock music. Quintanilla Perez, known simply as Selena, was a beloved American singer viewed as the queen of Tejano music. Born in 1971 in Lake Jackson, Texas, she rose to fame in the late 1980s and early 90s by blending traditional Mexican music with pop, R&B, and Latin influences. Her powerful voice, vibrant performances, and down-to-earth personality earned her a passionate fanbase across the United States and Latin America. Selena broke barriers in a male-dominated genre and helped popularize Tejano music on an international scale. She was also a fashion designer and a cultural icon, admired for representing Latina pride. By 1995, Selena was at the peak of her career, preparing to cross over into the English language market with a new album. However, her life was tragically cut short on March 31, 1995. She was shot and killed in Corpus Christi, Texas, by Yolanda Saldivar, the president of her fan club. Leading up to her death, Selena and her family had discovered that Yolanda had been embezzling money from the fan club. When Selena confronted her to retrieve important financial documents, Yolanda lured her to a motel and fatally shot her. Selena was only 23 years old. The news of her death sent shockwaves through the Spanish community and the broader music world. Her funeral was attended by thousands, and her killing became a major news story across the US. In the wake of her death, Selena's posthumous English album, Dreaming of You, topped charts, and her life story inspired books, a hit biopic starring Jennifer Lopez, and a dedicated museum. Selena's legacy continues to this day, symbolizing talent, perseverance, and cultural pride for generations of fans. Aaliyah Dana Holton, known simply as Aaliyah, was a groundbreaking R&B singer, actress, and model whose smooth voice, innovative sound, and presence helped redefine the genre in the 1990s. Born in 1979, Aaliyah rose to fame at just 15 with her debut album, Age Isn't Nothing But a Number. She later collaborated with producers Timbaland and Missy Elliott, releasing hit albums that showcased a futuristic blend of R&B, hip-hop, and pop. Aaliyah was widely admired for her artistry and originality, becoming a style and cultural icon for her generation. On August 25, 2001, she died in a tragic plane crash in the Bahamas at the age of 22. She had just completed filming a music video and was returning to the US with her entourage. The small plane, which was overloaded and operated by a pilot who was later found to be unlicensed and under the influence of drugs, crashed shortly after takeoff, killing all 9 people on board. Investigations later revealed that the aircraft exceeded its weight limit and that the flight should not have been cleared. Aaliyah's sudden death devastated fans around the world and sent shockwaves through the music and entertainment industries. She had been on the brink of even greater success, with a flourishing music career and roles in upcoming films. Her passing highlighted concerns about artist safety and air travel practices. In the years since her death, Aaliyah's influence has continued to grow, with many modern artists citing her as an inspiration. Amy Winehouse was a British singer and songwriter known for her deep, soulful voice and raw, emotionally charged lyrics. Born in London in 1983, she rose to international fame with her second album Back to Black. Her music blended elements of soul, jazz, R&B, and the 1960s girl group pop, earning her 5 Grammy Awards and widespread acclaim. Winehouse was praised for her distinctive style, both musically and visually, and for bringing a retro sound into modern pop music. Despite her talent, her personal life often made headlines due to struggles with addiction and mental health issues. In the years leading up to her death, Winehouse faced a highly publicized battle with substance abuse, including alcohol and drugs. She had multiple stints in rehab and frequently canceled performances due to her condition. Although there were periods of improvement, she remained under intense media scrutiny. In the months before her death, she had reportedly attempted to stay sober and was working on new music, though her last public performance in June 2011 was widely criticized due to her erratic behavior. On July 23, 2011, Amy Winehouse was found dead in her London home at the age of 27. A coroner later confirmed that she died of alcohol poisoning, with her blood alcohol level more than 5 times the legal limit. Her death placed her among the so-called 27 Club, with her passing shocking the music world and reigniting conversations about the pressures of fame and the neglect of artists' mental health. Her influence continues to be felt in contemporary music, and she is remembered as a once-in-a-generation voice, silenced far too soon. David Bowie, a groundbreaking musician, artist, and cultural icon, passed away on January 10, 2016, just 2 days after his 69th birthday and the release of his final studio album. Known for his ever-evolving style, theatrical performances, and alter egos, Bowie became a symbol of artistic reinvention and creative freedom. He was beloved not only for his musical innovation blending rock, pop, electronic, and soul, but also for his role in challenging social norms regarding gender and identity. Over a career spanning more than 5 decades, Bowie contributed to the cultural climate in profound ways, influencing generations of artists across music, film, and fashion. In the years leading up to his death, Bowie had been privately battling liver cancer, a diagnosis he chose to keep from the public. Despite his declining health, he remained artistically active, working on his final album as a parting gift to fans. The album, filled with cryptic lyrics and dark, haunting tones, was later interpreted as his artistic farewell. The music video for the single Lazarus, released just days before his death, opened with the line, "Look up here, I'm in heaven," further highlighting his artistic vision. News of Bowie's death shocked the world, as many were unaware he had been ill. Tributes poured in from fans and fellow artists, highlighting the profound personal and cultural impact of his work. His death marked not only the end of a unique creative force, but also the closing of a chapter in pop music history. Bowie's music to push boundaries and remain relevant for decades cemented his legacy as one of the most important and beloved artists of the 20th and 21st centuries. Prince, the iconic singer and songwriter, died on April 21, 2016 at the age of 57. Widely regarded as one of the most innovative and influential musicians of his time, Prince was beloved for his unique blend of funk, rock, R&B, and pop, as well as his flamboyant style and electrifying performances. Prince pushed musical and cultural boundaries, frequently defying gender norms and challenging the conventions of the music industry. He was also a huge advocate for artistic freedom and famously fought for control over his own music catalog. In the weeks leading up to his death, Prince had canceled several shows due to illness, citing the flu. On April 15, 2016, his private jet made an emergency landing in Illinois so he could receive medical treatment after reportedly losing consciousness. He appeared at a public event the following day, downplaying health concerns. However, just days later, he was found unresponsive in an elevator at his Paisley Park estate in Chanhassen, Minnesota. Paramedics attempted to revive him but were unsuccessful, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. An autopsy later revealed that Prince died of an accidental overdose of fentanyl. Prince's sudden death sent shockwaves through the music world and beyond. Tributes flooded in from fans, fellow musicians, and world leaders. His death sparked broader discussions about the opioid crisis and the pressures faced by artists living under constant public scrutiny. Memorials and celebrations of his life took place across the globe, including a large public gathering in Minneapolis. Prince's passing marked the end of an era, but his legacy continues to influence music, fashion, and culture worldwide. Carrie Fisher passed away on December 27, 2016 at the age of 60. Beloved by fans for her acting capabilities, intelligence, honesty, and resilience, Fisher was more than just a Hollywood actress. She was also a trained writer and advocate for mental health awareness. Through her memoirs, she discussed her struggles with bipolar disorder and substance abuse, helping to destigmatize mental illness and giving a voice to many who face similar challenges. Fisher suffered a cardiac arrest on December 23, 2016, while on a flight from London to Los Angeles. She was returning from a book tour, with passengers and flight crew attempting emergency medical care before the plane landed. She was transported to a hospital in Los Angeles, where she was placed on a ventilator. Despite initial reports suggesting she was in stable condition, Fisher never regained consciousness and was pronounced dead 4 days later. A subsequent autopsy revealed sleep apnea as a contributing factor to her death, along with traces of multiple drugs in her system, including cocaine, heroin, and MDMA, though it could not be determined whether they directly caused her death. Fisher's passing deeply affected fans and colleagues around the world, and tributes poured in not only for her work in film, but also for her bravery in confronting personal demons with humor and grace. Her death was tragically followed by the death of her mother, legendary actress Debbie Reynolds, just one day later. Fisher's passing marked a profound loss in both the entertainment industry and the mental health advocacy community. Her legacy endures through her work, her activism, and the honesty with which she lived her life. Chester Bennington, the powerful lead singer of Linkin Park, died by taking his own life on July 20th, 2017 at the age of 41. Known for his dynamic vocal range and passionate performances, Bennington was beloved for the vulnerability he brought to his music. As the frontman of Linkin Park, he helped define the alternative rock scene of the early 2000s. His lyrics often explored themes of pain, trauma, and self-doubt, connecting deeply with fans who saw their own struggles reflected in his voice. Bennington had long battled with mental health issues, including depression and substance abuse, stemming from a difficult childhood defined by sexual abuse and bullying. Despite achieving international fame and success, he remained open about his internal battles in interviews and through his music. In the months leading up to his death, friends and bandmates noted both positive and concerning signs, as Bennington was actively working on new music with Linkin Park and appeared to be in good spirits. However, he was also grieving the loss of his close friend, Chris Cornell, who had died by taking his own life just 2 months earlier. Bennington died on what would have been Cornell's 53rd birthday. His death sent shockwaves through the music world and reignited global conversations about mental health, especially among artists and young fans. Tributes poured in from fellow musicians, fans, and mental health advocates, all mourning the loss of an artist who gave so many a voice. Linkin Park organized a tribute concert and later released music celebrating Bennington's legacy. Lil Peep, born Gustav Elijah R., was an emerging star in the emo rap scene whose career was tragically cut short when he died on November 15, 2017 at the age of 21. Known for blending elements of punk, emo, and hip-hop, Lil Peep gained a dedicated fanbase through his emotionally raw lyrics and genre-defying sound. He was beloved for his openness about depression, drug use, heartbreak, and identity, giving a voice to a new generation of youth who felt alienated by traditional pop culture. Peep became a symbol of vulnerability in modern music and helped pioneer the emotional style associated with SoundCloud rap. Leading up to his death, Lil Peep had been on tour, and despite signs of success, he continued to struggle with mental health issues and drug abuse. On the night of his death, he was found unresponsive on his tour bus in Tucson, Arizona. Paramedics were unable to revive him. The Pima County medical examiner later confirmed that he died of an accidental overdose of fentanyl and Xanax, highlighting the growing crisis of dangerous counterfeit drugs laced with powerful opioids. Lil Peep's death sent shockwaves through the music community, specifically among young fans and artists who saw him as a pioneer. His passing sparked broader conversations about mental health, substance abuse, and the dangers of unregulated drugs in youth culture. Tributes poured in from fans and fellow musicians, and his posthumous releases further solidified his legacy. Though his career was short, Lil Peep left a major impact on modern music, reshaping the landscape of rap in alternative genres. Avicii, born Tim Bergling, was a Swedish DJ, producer, and songwriter who rose to international fame in the early 2010s as one of the leading figures in electronic dance music. Avicii was beloved for his ability to blend uplifting melodies with emotional depth, helping to bring EDM to mainstream pop culture. His innovative sound and contagious energy earned him a global fanbase and collaborations with major artists across genres. Despite his success, Avicii was a deeply private person who struggled with the pressures of fame and the demands of constant touring. In 2016, due to health concerns and stress-related issues, Avicii made the difficult decision to retire from live performances. He had previously dealt with serious medical problems, including acute pancreatitis, specifically due to excessive drinking, and had his gallbladder and appendix removed in 2014. Although he stepped away from performing, he continued to work on music and appeared to be pursuing a more peaceful and balanced life. However, on April 20th, 2018, Avicii was found dead in Muscat, Oman, while on vacation. His family later confirmed that he died by taking his own life, indicating that he had been struggling with mental health issues for a long time. Avicii's death was a devastating blow to the music world and highlighted the unseen emotional toll fame can have on artists. Tributes poured in from fans and fellow musicians, and his passing sparked important conversations about mental health in the entertainment industry. In 2019, his family launched the Tim Bergling Foundation to support mental health awareness, with his legacy not only continuing through his music, but also through the movement he inspired. Mac Miller, born Malcolm James McCormick, was a beloved rapper, singer, and producer whose career was defined by artistic evolution and emotional honesty. Rising to fame as a teenager with his 2011 debut album, Mac initially became known for his upbeat, carefree style. However, as he matured, so did his music, exploring themes of love, loneliness, addiction, and self-reflection, showcasing his growth as an artist. His openness about mental health and substance use endeared him to fans who saw him as a relatable and authentic voice in hip-hop. On September 7, 2018, Mac Miller was found unresponsive in his Los Angeles home and later pronounced dead at the scene. He was 26 years old. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office later confirmed that he died of an accidental drug overdose involving fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol. In the months leading up to his death, Mac had been open about his struggles with addiction and the difficulty of navigating fame. Despite releasing a critically acclaimed album just weeks before his passing and appearing to be focused on personal growth, he was still battling inner demons. Miller's death sent shockwaves through the music industry and among fans worldwide. Tributes poured in from many artists, with all of them highlighting his kindness, creativity, and influence. His death also brought renewed attention to the dangers of fentanyl-laced drugs and the broader opioid crisis. Multiple posthumous albums have been released since his death, with all of them being critically acclaimed and offering a final glimpse into his artistic journey. Lee Sun-Kyun, a beloved South Korean actor, died on December 23, 2023 at the age of 48. His body was discovered in a parked car near Waryeong Park in central Seoul with a charcoal briquette found inside, a method commonly associated with taking one's own life in South Korea. Prior to his death, Lee had left a note detailing why he went through with this. In the months leading up to his passing, Lee was under intense public scrutiny due to a police investigation into alleged drug use. Despite testing negative for drugs and declaring that he had been deceived and blackmailed, Lee faced repeated interrogations and extensive media coverage that delved into his personal life. The relentless exposure and societal judgment appeared to have taken a significant toll on his mental health. Following his death, 2 women involved in the blackmail scheme were arrested and later sentenced to prison terms. The incident sparked widespread outrage over the handling of the investigation and the media's role in worsening Lee's distress. Prominent figures in the South Korean entertainment industry called for a thorough examination of the systemic pressures faced by public figures and the need for reforms to protect their rights and well-being. Lee Sun-Kyun's tragic death highlighted the immense pressure faced by celebrities in South Korea, where strict drug laws and a culture of public shaming can have devastating consequences. His passing prompted national conversation about mental health, the responsibilities of the media, and the importance of compassion and due process. Lee's legacy continues on through his impactful performances and the ongoing discourse his death has inspired. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you learned something, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below your thoughts on anything I discussed in this video, and subscribe if you would like to see a part 3 or more videos like this one. Thank you again, and goodbye.